So he pulls out his knife and begins fighting a fucking Wolverine while tripping out on meth. He is kicking and punching and stabbing this Wolverine, and he finally gets on top of the Wolverine as he straddles it and plunges his knife into the Wolverine's chest as the life from the Wolverine leaves its body and it falls limp to the ground.
Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Thanks for tuning in with me today. I do apologize for my appearance today. I'm not sure what I look like up close or 4K, but I've just finished work for the morning and I don't really have much time. So I wanted to quickly get this video out there. Before I start though, I do just want to say thank you so much to everybody who has shown me so much love and support in the last month or so, the last couple weeks. I've been trying my best to put out regular content, and I don't know, the love that I got in the videos, it honestly just made me so happy. And I was like, oh my god, people still care about me, you know, like it's just such a nice feeling. I feel like I've lost lots of confidence on social media and YouTube in the last couple years. I think it's down to the fact that when I first started my YouTube channel, you know, there wasn't really, TikTok didn't really exist, or Instagram influencers were a thing, but like it wasn't huge, you know. And my YouTube channel started gaining traction kind of at the same time that TikTok was gaining traction. And I don't know, I just felt so, I guess I've just been comparing myself to the new age influencers or social media stars, you know. I'm comparing my editing, I'm comparing like, oh, my personality is not as good as theirs, or like I'm not as good looking as them, or I don't put enough effort into my content like these people do, like it's just not good enough, blah blah blah. So it's been like hard to create content when I'm feeling that way. But to be honest guys, when I put out those last couple of videos, you guys, and I like read all the comments, you guys just have no idea how much it means to me, and like how much it motivates me to keep pushing forward through all of the doubts and through all of the comparisons that I've been doing. So thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. Every single comment just means everything to me. So I just wanted to say that before we got started today. I just really had to get that off my chest and let you guys know that, because yeah, you just have no idea how much it's like kind of built my confidence. So thank you. Anyways, guys, welcome to the video. Again, sorry for my appearance. Oh my god, that's so funny, because I was just talking about comparing myself to others and I'm like apologizing for my appearance, but this is who I am today, so be it. But in today's video, we are checking out another Fat Electrician video. I always feel bad when I actually say his username. That's his YouTube username, guys. Now this video looks very interesting. It's called Winter Soldiers ODs on Meth Becomes Unkillable. So this is going to be interesting. I'm guessing this was back in like, I don't know, World War I, I guess, or World War II, I'm not too sure. So let's check it out. Let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know if you've seen or heard of this story before. All right, let's get started.
Military Special Forces guys doing meth while skiing. Did I get your attention? Today we're talking about Aimo Koivunen, the Finnish Special Forces soldier that took his entire unit's supply of crank and then proceeded to troll the Soviets and himself for 2 weeks about it. Before this video gets too far off the rails, we do have a sponsor, and that sponsor is We The People Holsters. They probably have the best quality to price ratio for any holster company on the market. Here's mine. It came with the clip and in the fancy gridline Kydex, and it cost $57, which is like half of what any other company was going to charge you. If you wanted to check them out, I'll have a link and a discount code down below.
Guys,
let's get to this story. March 18th, 1944, Aimo and his friends, a small group of Special Forces Finnish soldiers, have just finished conducting a 3-day-long ski patrol and are returning back to base when they are ambushed by an entire platoon of Soviet soldiers. They have nowhere near enough men to fight back. They have to retreat and get away. In order to do so, they go off the beaten path and attempt to blaze their own trail through unpacked snow. Aimo, as fate would have it, would be the point man, having to do the majority of the work as far as beating down the unpacked snow goes. Now, they've been out skiing for 3 days straight. Everybody's exhausted, but the level of work that Aimo
Patrol
is
was
having
a
to
thing.
dish out is almost unbearable, and he's unable to set a pace that is going to allow them to escape. And the Soviets are catching up. So Aimo decides to take the high road, reaches into his pocket, and pulls out a bottle, and inside of that bottle is all of his and his buddy's supply of Pervitin. Aimo had been given all of it
Pervitin.
because everybody knew that Aimo didn't care for taking Pervitin, and this meant that Aimo
What's
would keep it
Pervitin?
safe and nobody else would dip into it when they weren't supposed to. And if you don't know, Pervitin is the German miracle drug that came out in 1938, also known as meth. And just to be clear, this isn't like Jesse Pinkman cooking it in the back of a van, putting chili powder in it. This is high quality pharmaceutical grade nose torque, okay? This is inhalable horsepower, and this man's about to take some.
Oh my
Goddamn
God.
right.
So Aimo pops off the lid and he wants to dump a single pill into his hand, which is the recommended dose. The problem is the Pervitin has been sitting in his pocket, half of it warm against his body, the other half getting cold against the outside of his jacket,
Oh,
and it
what
is
does
now
that do?
congealed into one gigantic meth nugget, and the whole nugget falls into his mitten. He's unable to break off a singular piece because, well, he has mittens on and he doesn't
No,
have
he
the
didn't.
dexterity, so
No,
he
he
says,
didn't.
fuck it, and eats the entire nugget of meth, which was roughly 30 pills at one point. Okay, fast forward like 45
How did he
seconds.
not
Aimo
die?
feels incredible. He is a new man. He has gone from
I bet
dragging
he
ass
does.
to tripping balls, and he has had a life-altering revelation that he's been put on this planet to do two things and two things only, and that is to outrun the Soviets and steal catalytic converters, and those aren't even going to be invented for like another 35 years. So guess what we're doing? We're outrunning these Soviets. This man begins blazing a path through unpacked snow quicker than anybody ever has, ever. And the Soviets are just watching these guys take off like a rocket, like...
They've gone to plaid.
Over the course of the next hour, they managed to outrun the Soviets so bad that they just gave up. So they finally stopped, they regrouped, they wanted to see if anybody had been shot, they wanted to make sure everybody was doing okay before they carried on with their mission and journeyed back home. At that point, Aimo did not sit still. He was pacing, he's walking
I
around,
bet
he's
he
talking
didn't.
to himself, and that's when his buddies realized, oh boy, Aimo is higher than draft pussy on a fucking extension ladder, we gotta do something. So they decide it's probably a good idea to take away all of his ammunition and his knife so he doesn't hurt himself or somebody else. So they take the ammo away from him, they turn around, they go to put it in somebody else's backpack so they can carry it, turn back around, Aimo is fucking gone. Fast forward an unspecified amount of time later, and Aimo wakes up, looks around, has no idea where he is. You see, Aimo
He ran
had blacked
away.
out. And when I say blacked out, I don't mean he laid down and fell asleep. I mean he proceeded to ski 62 miles in a random direction and then laid down and fell asleep. And he is now just waking up, realizing that he has no recollection of which direction he went or came from, and he has no idea where he is. At this point, a Soviet soldier hops out from behind a tree and begins shooting at Aimo. Aimo panics, gets to his feet, grabs his gun, lifts it, fires at the Soviet soldier, click,
But he's got no
fuck.
ammunition.
His friends had taken all of his ammunition. So he grabs his empty gun and throws it at the Soviet soldier. It hits him and he explodes into a pile of snow. Aimo, what the fuck? Looks up. Oh, it was just a tree branch covered in snow the whole time. He is now hallucinating. So not really knowing what else to do, he straps his skis back on and proceeds to ski around looking for his friends or anything, really. And after an hour or two, thank God, he sees his friend's camp off in the distance and they have a fire going. It's all gonna be okay. We're good. He's gonna be saved. So
Surely
Aimo
not.
takes off skiing towards the camp. He's skiing. Aimo skis right into the middle of the camp. Cool guy power slide. Psh. Friends, did you miss me? He looks at his buddies. His buddies look at him. He looks at his buddies. Those aren't his buddies. Those are the Soviets. Shit. Time to go. Aimo takes off again. The Soviets attempt
my
to chase him
God.
for a little bit, but I mean, the man is basically tweakers on ice right now. You've got no chance at actually catching him. So Aimo then proceeds to ski until he's tired, and then he lays down and goes to sleep just on the ground outside. He wakes up, it's dark out, he can't see anything, and he realizes, hey, I'm hungry. So he gets a fire going, and then he walks around, grabbing some pine buds and leaves and whatever else he can find, sticking it in his canteen cup, grabs some snow, puts that in there, cooks it over the fire, and kind of mashes it all together in this like pine bud stew gruel type thing. He eats it, he thinks it's fucking delicious, one of the best meals he's ever had, because, well, meth. Then he goes back to bed. Wakes back up, still full of energy, decides that he's gonna go look for his buddies more. He skis around, he skis and he skis all day long, and then he finds a cabin. He walks up to the cabin, grabs a doorknob. It's real. It's not a hallucination. So,
Okay.
next thing, he strips all the copper out of it. No, I'm just kidding. He opens the door because it's unlocked, because this is a tradition in this part of the world where there's, you know, people could freeze to death. You just leave the cabin unlocked in case somebody is in
Got it.
Aimo's situation. You don't want them to freeze to death. So, Aimo goes inside, he gets a fire going. Now, because of the meth, Aimo elects to light the fire in the middle of the cabin on the floor rather than in the fireplace because, you know, obviously. He then proceeds to go to bed, and all throughout the night, the fire keeps getting hotter and hotter, so he keeps like shimmying away from it and shimmying away from it over and over again. And then finally his back hits a wall and he wakes up and realizes that the entire cabin is on fire. So he's like, shit. So he gets up, goes outside the cabin, puts his back against the wall of the outside of the cabin, and then goes back to sleep. Meth. So Aimo wakes up again. It's dark out. He hears growling off in the distance as there's a pair of yellow eyes staring at him. He looks behind him. The cabin completely burnt to a crisp as these eyes keep getting closer and closer, and there's growling. And out of the shadows leaps Hugh Jackman. Wait, what the fuck? Sorry. A Wolverine, not the Wolverine. A Wolverine, still. I mean, it's better, but not a lot better. Okay, this thing is 65 pounds of teeth, claws, fur, and bad attitude. And this thing will absolutely kill Aimo if Aimo lets it. Aimo is now in a fight for his life, so he pulls out his knife and begins fighting a fucking Wolverine while tripping out on meth. He is kicking and punching and stabbing this Wolverine, and he finally gets on top of the Wolverine as he straddles it and plunges his knife into the Wolverine's chest as the life from the Wolverine leaves its body and it falls limp to the ground. At that point, Aimo remembers, wait a minute, my friends took my knife. He looks at his knife. That's not his knife. That's his compass, and now it's broke. Shit. I mean, also kind of cool, though, because he just killed a Wolverine with a compass. He looks down at the dead Wolverine. He's sitting on top of a log. He hallucinated the entire thing again.
Oh my!
So Aimo gets up off the log that he just killed, looking around, not knowing what to do. In the darkness of night, he sees a fire off in the distance. So he straps on his skis and starts making his way towards that fire. And he's skiing, and he's skiing, and he's skiing all night long. And he's going, and he's going, and this fucking fire is not getting any closer. It's almost like it's running from him, and he keeps going towards it longer and longer. And finally, dawn breaks, and Aimo realizes that he's been chasing the North Star, thinking it was a fire for like the last 8 hours because meth. So now it's morning. Aimo still has no idea where he's going, so it's like, well, better find some copper. I mean, my friends. He's got to find his friends, so he just starts skiing around looking for any signs of human life at this point. And he's skiing, and he's skiing, and he's going, and he's going, and he finally comes across this abandoned German forward observational base, and he starts making his way towards it. The problem with this was, whenever the Germans abandoned something in World War II, they usually booby-trapped it, and that's what happened here because Aimo skis over a landmine, blowing up his foot, throwing him to the ground, and Aimo's like, that's it, I'm dead for sure. There's no way I'm making it out of this. And he just lays there. We have no idea how long he laid there. He said he laid there for a week, but that dude's high as a kite on meth. He could have been there for 45 minutes. We have no idea. But he lays there and he lays there, literally too high to die. And then he just gets bored and he's like, fine, I'll live. And he gets up and he starts walking back towards the base again. He makes it all the way to the building, you know, grabs a doorknob. Well, at least the base is real. The landmine sure as fuck was real. The base better be real. The base is real, grabs a doorknob, opens the door. That's booby trap too. Blows up in his face, yeets him 30 yards the other direction as he lands flat on his back with the door on top of him. And he's like, okay, now for sure I'm gonna die. There's no way I'm making it out of this. I'm done. And he just lays there. He completely gives up and he just waits for death to come get him. And he's laying there, and 1 day passes, and 2 days pass, and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, 7 days pass. And he's still just laying there like, this is taking forever. And then finally, some Finnish soldiers come up and are like, hey, do you want some help? And he's like, holy shit, yeah, that'd be great. So the Finnish guys start making their way over to him, and then one of them steps on a fucking landmine. And then the other 2 Finnish soldiers are like, well, we can only save one of you, and we're gonna save the guy that we came with. If we get this guy saved, we'll let him know to come back and save you later. Peace, goodbye.
Wait,
and
so
just left him laying there.
Bye.
So he thinks to himself, maybe if I can survive a couple more days, I might actually make it out of this. So he starts trying. He gets a little fire going next to him. He starts melting snow in his canteen cup to drink water to hydrate. A Siberian jay at some point lands next to him, and he takes a ski pole and smacks it to death, pulls the Siberian jay over to him, grabs it, and just Ozzy Osbournes this bird raw, just eats the whole thing, trying to get any amount of calories inside of him. And then after 3 more days, they come back and they save Aimo, and he completely blacks out. Aimo comes to, he's in a Finnish hospital where he's informed that he has been missing for 14 days and they found him 250 miles from where he originally departed his friends. He now weighs a mere 95 pounds and has a resting heart rate currently of 200 beats per minute, 14 days after taking all of the meth. So Aimo proceeds to do the logical thing, makes a full recovery, and lives a long, happy life until passing away at 71 in 1989 because he's Finnish and that's just how they get down. Yeah, if you're not picking up what I'm trying to tell you, this man actually may have seen Star Wars, the original series, in theater, okay? Could you imagine him taking his kids to the movie theater just being like, we didn't call it the Force back in my day. We called it Pervidin. Seriously, it's pretty funny that the only two Finnish soldiers that I know off the top of my head are Aimo and Simo Hoya. Simo, deadliest sniper of all time, over 500 kills. Aimo, the most unkillable tweaker ever. Don't worry, this story keeps going.
That's not.
Aimo's son was interviewed about his dad, to which he said that his dad never really talked much about his time in service, but there was one point later in Aimo's life when he decided to write in to a local newspaper that was having a competition for who had the best, craziest military story ever. And he wrote his story down, mailed it in, and he was informed, congratulations, you've got second. How the fuck did this guy get second place with this story? Did Simo Hoya enter the same competition? Because that's the only logical explanation, other than that there was some Karen on the judge board that was like, I don't know, this story seems a little too unbelievable if you ask me. Bang. To which my argument is, look at him. Do you think that guy's lying about this story? Do you really? Because homeboy looks like he's about to hit a T intersection and go straight, okay? That's not a hair product. He just moves that fucking fast now. There's no way he's lying about this story, and I'm legitimately mad he didn't win this fucking competition for some reason. Okay, this story is getting out of hand. We need to end this video. I guess, in conclusion, it's important to bear in mind with how incredible this story is that Aimo is the exception and not the example. You should not do drugs because they are in fact bad for you, okay? Don't do drugs. Also, don't fight the Finnish in winter in Finland where they have home field advantage. It's just a bad time. Anyways,
not a good
thanks
idea.
for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang, out.
That's wild, guys. I'm just confused about, like, how did he actually just not die from the amount of drugs that he took, you know? Like, what? That's nuts. But it's kind of funny, right? Because it's like the drugs kind of took over his brain in regards to like not wanting to die, you know? Because I feel like if you didn't have the drugs in your system, I feel like if he didn't have the drugs in the system at that time, like when he was lying down in the snow or whatever, like he was basically trying to die. He was like, I'm done, like this is too much. I feel like the drugs just kind of kept him going, you know? Like, isn't that crazy? Like, oh. Another great video from the Fat Electrician. I seriously love his storytelling skills. He makes everything so interesting. Like I feel like he made that story so funny as well. So entertaining. So shout out Fat Electrician. I'm sure a lot of you guys already know about his channel. Go check him out if you haven't. I'll link his channel down below as well as the original video. But yeah guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, I appreciate all of your comments, views and likes more than you realize. It just means a lot, so thank you. I'm trying to keep consistent with the videos lately, so I appreciate the ongoing support, guys. If you haven't already, you can follow me on Instagram to keep up to date with my daily life. If you didn't know, I'm a full-time flight attendant living in Perth, Australia. So if you want to get to know me and just like know about my everyday life, you can follow me on there. Otherwise, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye guys. Mwah.